Now this 5/16 inch tube here fits right in the Deluxe Electric Mandrel Spinner, and that's what I'm going to use to demonstrate this vessel today. Just get it tuned up a little bit, and away we go. Okay, we're going to start out with a little bit of ivory, and just going to build up a little bit of a core. Get that hot. Now notice my fingers moving left and right and left and right. I'm spinning the glass so as to keep the tip in control. It helps me keep that gather really fluid. And when you're doing this technique, you want to work with very fluid glass, especially when you get to the larger diameter size wrap. Now the glass that was fluid enough to move gets transferred over onto the blowpipe, and then I'm into some harder glass on the cane, and I use that glass to kind of control the disbursement of the liquid glass. And then I use the little graphite paddle there to marver it down to a flat surface. And then I touch up a little bit on the left, making it a little bit larger neck to the vessel I'll create, and a little bit more of a canvas to decorate that neck. And then I grab the rolling marver here, press against it in the groove, and then I'm going to, see how I'm moving it to the right there? That walks the glass down the end of the blowpipe just a little bit. And I'm going to add a little bit here on the left to clean up that circumference, make it a nice even lip. So kind of raking and adding glass kind of at the same time. Now pick up a little silver, didn't quite go around, so I'm going to get a little more, grab the rolling marver, and then that allows me to burnish it down really fast and easy because it's pressing down at two spots at once. Now this is a blunt end graphite tool. Now what I did there is I took that, oops, get rid of that little end, get rid of some scuzz. Now what I'm putting the clear on now is a field of small little balls of silver and fields of crystalled silver. Now I had put a, excuse me, let those sink in a little bit. I had put a layer of silver leaf on this bead and burnished it down. When I reintroduced it back into the flame and it turned this color, I had transferred that from being a sheet of silver on the bead to being tiny microscopic balls. Now watch this. I heat up the center of that and I'm going to pull and rake. I switched the spin direction. Now I'm raking at the top. Well, that silver went from being tiny microscopic balls of silver to being, and now look at that. Beautiful. Those little balls of silver were boiling, and they gas out particles of silver, and those particles land on the glass near it, and they grow into crystals. So that color that you see on there is actually microscopic crystals of silver on the surface. Now I'm going to add a little rim to the top of this, define the edge with contrasting dark color. Touch it up with the blunt end. I use the blunt end of the face of that tool to do the side of the bead, and then I use the rounded side of the graphite to do the end. Now this is a cane of dark green. Now you see I had to work that very, very fluid to get it to wrap around. Now if you watch in the reflected angle, what you're going to see, now watch this, I'm now twisting my fingers so that I can get that really hot. I'm bringing right to the edge, and as it spins I just let it turn and wrap on. And then I use the stiffer portion that's left on the cane to help make sure that it's evenly dispersed. So wrap, kind of dig in and see how it was a little wonky, but I use that stiffness to pull it straight. Gather a little more, and baby it in the heat a little bit to keep it warm, then add a little more. So it sputtered a little bit on that addition at the beginning, but by using that stiffer portion of the cane I'm able to drag that around. Ooh, watch this. I'm starting to round it right now. I don't want to get that whole disc hot when I'm dragging the edge, so I just use the edge of the flame and let the rim of the disc go through it. Now here I'm using a Holy Marver to round out that shape and close in from a disc. Just close the very end up there, very much like you would be working ceramics. I closed up the end. Now I've got an air bubble trapped in there, and I'm going to inflate that air bubble a little bit. I don't want to let the neck of the vessel get too cold, so I start by initially heating near it on the blowpipe. That transfers heat down into the middle of the bead. Now here I'm just touching up the neck again a little bit. Grab the blunt end, shape it flat again, and then heat up the bulb. Careful not to let it collapse. I mean, you heat it up, now you get a nice even heating, and then while it's turning, here I go and I'm inflating it. Just give it a little puff. See how it brought that up to a nice round shape, a nice wall thickness, very even. I'm going to add a little touch of black nebula to the rim so that at the end of this I can luster that up with a kind of a blue tone. That Marver allows me to get the end and the side at the same time, although I was just using it for the end at that time. Now here I'm just going to hobnail the bottom with clear stringer, just making a nice 4x pattern on the bottom bulb. And I'm just stopping the tool with my fingertips on the clutch that you see in the lower left corner, and most of the time I'm just going to let it spin, but I will stop it with the clutch and add a dot. Then I will let it move a little bit more. It's very easy to get this motion intuitively, and see how I'm just able to work on the edge of the flame and let the surface turn to where I need it to be. And I'm not really having to work very hard with my hands. It's very gentle, very precise and surgical in its nature. Give a nice even overheating. Now I'm using a reducing flame to luster up that black nebula. Now, look at that. Hobnailed, Space Gem kind of look at the top. Easily comes off, and then I just insert that into the kiln.